So today I'm working on the Audi S5 4.2 V8 petrol. Going to be doing a few little jobs. To begin with, I'm doing the oil change, front pads and discs, air filter and the oil filter obviously, spark plugs and the coolant. I'm going to start off with the oil. I've already run it and got it jacked up. I'm going to remove this cap so let it drain out a bit better. Pull the dipstick up a bit for the same reason. And then for the drain bung, just there, if it focuses, it doesn't want to focus, but it's a 6mm Allen key. That simply goes up in there. And make sure you've got a good container because it takes 8.8 litres. I can't really record it, but I'll turn the camera on after I drain that and I'll show you the next step. So whilst all that's just draining out as much as possible, I'm going to come to the top. There's the oil filter. There was a cover on it you may have seen, but it just literally pulls off straight up. It's a 32mm socket. I've already loosened it for the video. I'm going to take that out and show you what to do next. Right, so once you get it out, this is what you're left with. Filter element and the O-ring. Take your filter off, get rid of that. Get a pick or a screwdriver. Take the O-ring off. Sink that in the bin as well. Rinse out a bit of brake cleaner. So you got all that off, you clean it all out, you get your new O-ring that you're going to put into this recess here. Just like that. I'm using a man filter HU7005X. Like that. It's quite a tight fit, but that's on there now, as it should be. So I'll come back up to the car. So basically this pin, you're going to slowly turn this until it locates into the hole and then tighten it. If you just point the camera down in there. A bit more. That hole there is where this pin needs to go. Just slowly turn it until it locates and then tighten it. And it'll be 25 Newton meters. So like I say, the engine takes 8.8 litres. I've put the oil filter in now. The sump plug, I didn't record that going in, but new washer, 25 Newton meters. I'm not actually going to run it up yet because I'm doing all of this at once, obviously. I'm going to be doing the brakes now. I'm only going to record this side because it has the pad wear sensor, and it's the same on the other side but without the sensor. So basically the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this T30 Torx out. I've already loosened it. Just going to turn it out now. Like that. Put that to one side. And using a flat screwdriver, wherever that's called, you're going to carefully pry here and put your other hand over here so I don't ping you in the face. I'm going to do it off camera and turn it back on. So once you've done that, what you're going to do is this here has a little tab that goes in this hole here to lock it in place. And you pull it away from there and you twist it 90 degrees. I've already turned mine a little bit. And then that should come out underneath. Bit hard to do one-handed, there we go. And then you simply disconnect it. I'm going to do that now and show you the next step. So once you've removed that, it's time to free up the caliper so you can actually get it away from here because there's a lip on here. Basically, to do that, make sure the brake fluid reservoir cap's off. And because I'm replacing the pads and the disc, it doesn't matter if I damage them. So I put a screwdriver behind here and I've levered it back just enough to get it off. Like I say, if you're only replacing your pads, do not do this because you will ruin your disc. And be careful. Next step, there's a 13mm bolt here and at the bottom here. Once I've got that off, I'll show you what to do next. So now you've done that, I just got to remove these pads. I've got my bungee cord ready, hooked up over the coil spring now. This outer pad on the non-piston side is actually glued on in this particular case. And then this one in the piston, it's just held in with springs like they usually are, which I might be able to get out one-handed. And I did. There's the old disc. I'm going to need both my hands with this, but I'm basically going to be doing the same thing with the screwdriver in between here, using it as a chisel to break the seal of the glue to get this out, and then I'll show you the next step. Right, so the caliper's out of the way now. Now to remove the carrier. There's two bolts, one here and one there. They're a 21mm. Might be able to take it off one-handed. And the same for the top. I'll turn the camera back on once I've done that. So usually in ideal conditions, this would just pull off, but it won't. So it's hammer time. I'm going to keep on doing that until it comes off. Well, in the end it did come off, but no amount of hitting up the hammer helped, so I had to get a bit of fire involved just around where it sits on the hub for a minute or two, and then it was one hit and it came off. So what I did after that, I cleaned all of this hub face with a drill brush, get all the rust off. I just put a thin coating of grease on here, ceramic grease. Now for the new disc. Here it is. These come with an oil coating on to stop them rusting in the warehouse. That's all you got to do. Get your brake cleaner, suck it in that, and you're going to want to do it on both sides. Once I'm ready to put it on the car and on the other side, I'll turn the camera back on. So you've cleaned it, you've got it on. Don't forget to put your grub screw back in. This only needs to be hand tight, and I'll put a bit of grease in there just to stop it getting seized in there again. Next job is cleaning this caliper carrier. These pins here are where the pads slide, and they need to be cleaned. If you want to clean the rest you can, but you need to at least clean here. Just use a wire brush and some brake cleaner. I'll turn the camera on after that. Right, so I've skipped ahead a little bit. The carrier is on. These have all been cleaned and greased where the pads slide. You want new bolts in here, and I've wound the pushed the piston back all the way using this type of one back tool. Like I say, these bolts need to be brand new and they're 196 Newton meters. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to install the pads and the pad wear sensor. The pad wear sensor goes on afterwards. I'll show you how that's all done. I'm just going to put some grease on the backing plates of these. The one with the springs on there goes in the piston and the other one goes on the other side. Make sure you line up this dowel. You don't need to use glue. These don't use glue, these particular ones. Just put grease on instead. I'll turn the camera on after I've done that. So that's all on now. I've skipped ahead a little bit more. These two 13 mils are 30 Newton meters. So that's on there. And the pad wear sensor, it plugs in and it goes behind the knuckle, behind the hub. And then it's a reverse. You put it in there sideways and turn it 90 degrees. And you want to undo you want to put it inside the cap for the bleed nipple. That'll hold it in, like that. And there's a cut out here where it goes in. Don't know if you can see that. And it just plugs into the piston side pad till it clicks. And that's that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing the spark plugs. I'm going to be removing the airbox and I'll show you how to do all that. And then I just need to move the expansion bowl out of the way. Turn the camera back on once I've done that. So again, I have skipped ahead quite a bit, but on the top above the bumper will be this panel. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 holes for these Phillips. There's a T25 Torx on both sides of here, and this just pulls away. That goes on the front of the airbox. And then what you're going to have to do, it looks a bit jumbled up here at a minute. There's a connector underneath the airbox which actually just pulls up out of grommets. There's this pipe that goes onto here underneath. There's the connector as well. There's 2 clips that take the MAF sensor away. There's a Jubilee clip holding that on. There's a sprung hose clip on there that you take off. And there's one there that I've left in place. And it just sort of gets moved out of the way gently like that. And then you'll be left with the 4 coils on this side. What you want to do is get a flat screwdriver and you're going to twist in here until it clicks, and you're going to get another flat, and then twist it to pry it off bit by bit on each of them and take off evenly. And then your camshaft position sensors here now need to be removed, the plug I mean, and you just keep on doing it little by little until the harness is right away, and these just pull straight out. And spark plugs are 30 Newton meters, and then it's a reverse of removal, which I'm going to do now off camera. There's a lot less to take off with the spark plugs on this side. You do exactly the same as what I said on the other coil plugs. But in order to get to all of this, all you have to do is move the expansion bolt out of the way. It's just these 2 nuts here and here. Pulls up out of the grommet. There's an electrical connection underneath. And just move it away. You might have to take these 2 off, but you shouldn't have to necessarily. I think just take off this one and it will move out of the way. Don't forget to unplug the sensor there as well, again. And then again, I just pull out 30 Newton meters for the plugs. That's that. Unfortunately, I completely forgot to record the air filter whilst it was out, but you can see it there. All it is these bolts all around here. That'll come up, and then there's 2 bolts behind the air filter where it goes on back here inside, and there's an O-ring to replace. Once you've done that, it's just a reverse of removal.